Alright, seeing as though I haven't done a damn thing today, I'm going kind of crazy. It's 2 weeks from the beginning of the season. Less than 2 weeks. Man, that's scary. But I figured I'd take this time to do a little backstory. I think I'm also going to try to do some housekeeping here. I mean, like literal housekeeping. Man, I don't even know where to start with this. This is not going well. All right, considering I've been sick and today I've essentially spent the entire day in-house, inside, watching the Iron Fist, which I will say was quite nice. I figured I'd take this time to do something I haven't done in a while and kind of explain exactly what the cross-off is.
Who are you? Who are you?
Those of you that have been here from the beginning kind of have an idea of why it started. Otherwise, most people probably just think it's making content, which is fine. That's essentially what ultimately it's designed to do, is make content based around me racing cyclocross. But there were some specific reasons why it started, and I figured I'd go back and kind of check in on those and see which ones are still relevant and kind of look at how things have evolved or are evolving. So the definition I gave of what the cross-off was: the cross-off project is a culmination of numerous events in my life coming together. Blog life, a midlife crisis need to race now alert, a daughter who wants to cheer on her dad, and a special person who sparked a life-altering emotional transformation within myself. For the most part, I would say that that is still the case. So let's focus in on the one thing that really stands out and was the main impetus behind this. I had never raced. In fact, I would say that I was actually terrified of racing. The fear of failure, the fear of doing something and people making fun of you. You know, all the little insecurities that you have as a human being manifested itself in the form of going on the other side of the tape.
I'm not used to this, Mike.
And racing.
Holy crap. You're doing it.
So all of these years, I kind of thought of the idea of wanting to race, but it never went past the moment that I would think it was pretty much the moment that I would stop thinking about it and say, this is not going to happen. It wasn't until going to the races in DC to see DCCX and seeing people that I know and seeing people that had less cycling experience than me get out on the race course and do it. And that just was like the wall of what racing stood in my mind started to get knocked down at that point. The name, the cross-off, is basically checking things off of my list. I have, you know, that list of regrets that you have in your life that you say that you wish you had done later in life. I did not want racing to be one of those regrets. So the cross-off is checking things off, crossing things off of that regret list. The secondary thing that still holds true today is I wanted to create a shared experience with Sydney. I wanted to give her something for her to be excited about, something to be proud of me for. I mean, and obviously that's the ego side of it talking, but having that work together and create these shared experiences and memories that we could look back on, you know, for the rest of our lives is something I wanted to create. That is still evident. That's still the goal today, is still to create these things. Whether or not she races this year, I don't know. I will say that she has changed her mind and she will come to more races this year. I didn't think that she was going to do many this year because, I don't know, she's 10 years old, she's starting to get fickle about things that she wants to do, so you gotta roll with it. But she's definitely going to be at more races this year, so I'm stoked about that. The third element, the one dealing with the relationship, that's not relevant pretty much at all anymore. The fourth reason for that, for doing this was giving my site, giving it a reason to create content. I needed an engine to do something that was new and fresh and different. What I wanted to do was something from the point of view of somebody that takes it seriously, but is, you know, I'm slow, so I'm not a very good athlete, but I have knowledge of the cycling industry. I have connections, so I thought it would be interesting to create content based around a sponsored season and review the products that people were giving to me throughout the season, instead of just doing, you know, a few rides and saying, hey, this bike handles this way, these shoes feel this way, this gel tastes this way. But take a set of products and do it from beginning to end and basically tell all about it. You know, how I integrated the products into a season, you know, all of those little things that would go into it. Like in true boredom fashion, I had to do something different. Which brings me to the evolution of all of this. Obviously, I've checked off the box of racing. I've had a few seasons where Sydney's been super stoked at watching me race. I will admit that every race is another box checked off because it takes a lot for me to get out and do this. So that's still both of those things are still very relevant for the going forward. I still will be talking about product. I will be detailing everything that I'm using this season more so than I ever have. But where the change is happening, it's happening in the reasoning behind why I'm doing this. It's evolved into getting people into the sport. We're evangelizing the sport of cyclocross. I've gotten tons of messages over the years, and I wish I had collected them all, but tons of messages of people saying that they started racing, or they did their first race, or they bought a cyclocross bike and were thinking about doing their race. I've got all these messages from people that that did this because of the vlogs, because of the content I've put out. And that is amazing. That was not something I expected from the beginning. I'm kind of floored by people's responses to that. So going forward, everything that made the cross off and brought it to, why doesn't my hat always look like it's? Everything that's brought the cross off to this point is still gonna be relevant, but I'm definitely gonna focus on trying to get more people into the sport. And honestly, I don't know how that manifests itself in the broader scope. I'll obviously figure that out as I go. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with this year. I think there's a lot of potential that I haven't even touched on yet. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys stick around and follow me through the season, if not to see whether or not I achieve any of my goals this year and how this channel grows. All right, CrossFam, that's about it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.